gathered here today to remember Tex's birthday, which is today, and he's 67. But to me, he's ageless and immortal, and he's a tireless individual. What do you think, Tom?
I'll go along with that, Jim. As I recall, Tex was about 26 when he made his first movie back in 1936. And he's still going strong today. He has, or at least 25 commitments per month, I understand.
You remember when he was making the movies and how he always headed them off at the pass like he did down the Wyoming Trail in 1939.
Yes, I remember that picture. As Jim said, it was filmed in 1939. And, of course, there was a tremendous amount of elk used in the picture. Of course, as always, Tex saved the day, but, of course, before he was able to save the beautiful girl in this picture, why, of course, he was taken prisoner and was tied in a cabin way up in the mountains. And his means of escape was by getting over to the fireplace and, of course, burning the ropes loose that bound his wrist. And from that point on, he was able to get on a sled and sleigh down the mountains to the valley below. And, of course, about that time, these elk were released, which really made the whole thing something interesting to look at.
We've been in Tex's house, all of us, a number of times. Gerald, you remember going over there with Al Sigmund and myself in the fall of '68. How do you feel about the episode?
He wasn't exactly in too much in the conversation when we first arrived, but after a while he got in with the train of thought on what we were trying to find out.
I was at a Tex Ritter show in January 1968, and I'd been bugging Tex for years to start up a fan club again, and he finally gave an okay on that night backstage. We get together and talk about Tex, and we show his movies and play his records, and we occasionally make sort of documentary recordings to play at fan fairs and fan festivals.
Of course, most everybody who's familiar with Tex knows that he was born and raised in Panola County in East Texas. That's down near the Sabine River bottoms, you know.
You went there, didn't you, about a year ago and took pictures of his old birthplace?
Oh, yes. The family and I and my wife, Airedale, we made the trip down there in about 1969, I believe it was. And we made a bunch of pictures of his old home place down there. And the old home, I believe, that used to belong to his uncle is still standing. But I'll tell you this, walking over those old grounds and looking at the places that Tex must have roamed when he was just a kid, and seeing they just only a few trees standing, big trees, just standing there, you know. And right over there, other ways, a couple of 300 yards, is a railroad track, which always brings to mind the wayward wind. You know, Tex recorded that back in about '63. But the whole picturesque thing of this particular trip, it just kind of leaves a lump in your throat.
Imagine it does.
I guess the thing I remember most about Texas when he was over at Jim's house back in '70. Jim and I took Tex back to his motel, and as we walked in, there were magazines and books laying around, but there's one book open laying on the nightstand, the Bible. Tex made the statement that he'd stayed up late night before and had been reading the Bible, and that's always stuck in the back of my head about Tex. You know, that leaves an impression on a person.
Well, in my opinion, people haven't realized the greatness of him yet. And I think they will when he's gone. But there are some of his great records left and his movies that we can treasure. And he is a legend, someone that is ageless and immortal. And I think he will always live in our memories.
I'm an actor, and I have to tell you that I'm an actor because name-wise, I haven't been able to become a threat to Paul Newman or my good friend Duke here, and never want to, really. I've been acting chiefly in westerns, doing stunt work, and not to forget just doing anything else when times weren't good. As an actor, or for doing stunts, I'm proud to say I've worked as an extra, just a writer, in the wardrobe department, a little bit of everything. All right, Travis, now this is the way I want you to do it. I want you to walk in. You're getting ready to meet these two gunfighters. You see them. They draw on you. The first man draws. You and he fire at the same time. Bang, you're hitting the shoulder. Your gun flips over. You catch it with the other one. You get off around. You get the other guy. Now, your thumb has been shot off. Now, he's crawling towards you, and he's taking dead aim. You have no thumb now.